Okay, so now I'm in my timeline. I can test it at any time, but I like to test with a really consistent framing or timing, and I'll use a default of 0.3 seconds. Anything shorter than 0.1 seconds won't register when it's online. And that's why GIFs are choppier than regular film. But I can just test that part, and that looks pretty good, showing my creature come out of the rock and start lumbering forward. So that all works. Then here's what I like about just using the timelines. It's giving me a frame for every layer I have. But I have a lot of extra layers that I'm not using right now. So let me go to the next layer that matters. Because I have that whole panning part. And then I'm just going to take those to the trash. I didn't get rid of those layers. I'm just not using those. Actually, I don't need any of these either. So this is where it starts. So I'm going to get rid of all of these. And now I'm just helping all these things come together. So let's see how this tests now. And now he starts moving. And now he's going to go behind the rock. And he's going to crumple back up. All right, so right now I have a good solid animation, but there's a few things to notice. Did you notice how the shadow changed when he started walking? Right, from there to there. So that reminds me that in all of these layers, so I'm going to select from frame 15, I should say frames, in all of these frames, from frame 15 to frame 1, I need to make sure that I have my shadow mask turned on. And now those should all match. All right, so he's out of his shell, he's ready to go. Starts walking. He's snapping as he goes. Goes behind the rock. Then because he's modest, he changes. So now I have to decide. That's fun. Where do I want it to stop a little bit? I obviously don't need these frames on their own at the very end. And I want him to stay longer on this moment, right? So I'm going to set that frame to be 1 second. And then what do I want to have happen after that? Well, maybe I want him to go backwards a little. Or maybe what I want is to start panning backwards again, which is why I have these empty ones. So I'm going to save it here because this showcases the transformation I wanted. I haven't transformed the background at all, I've just transformed this character. But I have him walking across the background. And now it just sits there a little bit before it restarts. Now I have to figure out how to loop it back. So in my storyboard, I was thinking that he would roll back and we'd follow the character the whole way, and it would reset. But now I'm thinking, just to make it more practical, that I leave the character there. So what do I do for that? I'm going to make a new frame. Layer, merge visible, hold down Option. And the problem is that frame is now in every frame here. So I'm going to select each layer and then turn it off. So my regular animation is there. But now I'm going to create a new frame on my own by clicking on the little new frame icon here, just like you create a new layer or a new channel. So I make a new frame and it duplicates the one before, but I'm going to reprogram it. And I'm going to start changing this. So how am I going to make this work? Well, I have this frame open. I'm going to label this camo mode because it contains my creature there. And now I need to go back to my background and I start walking it backwards. This will be a little tricky. So the next frame I need needs to shift over a little bit. So I'm going to take camo mode, take him down. Actually, I don't even need to use camo mode. It's kind of, I don't need it. Instead, all I need is that asset. Right? That guy in that position, in that exact position. Let's see, where is he? Behind that rock. And the easiest way is to just copy it from this. Instead of needing the rock and everything, just copy this as is from this. Duplicate it on its own. Make sure it's not appearing in all the frames. And now just move this over with each frame as I move it back. Key is not to make more work for yourself than you need. I didn't get quite enough of it, so let me do that again. What I like about digital art, especially with these kind of processes, is it's always problem solving. Trying to figure out new things. Right, so now, as the landscape changes, this rock needs to move just slightly back to line up with everything. There we go, and then we put it at 100%. And we're good. And we can see it frame by frame this way. Okay, so I make a layer of that. Hold down Option, Layer, Merge Visible. And we've got layer 52 now. And then because I have this new layer, I subtract it from everything else. By turning it off for everything else except for that last layer. And I'm going to start panning back. Now I only need to do this with the rock until the rock's out of frame, and then I can go a lot faster. Option, merge visible. It's almost out of the frame. Just a little bit more. So even simple things you really have to think through, just panning backwards. So yeah, I don't want him to disappear. And then we are very nearly done. If we've learned anything from these last few demos, it's that panning the camera takes a long time in GIFs, which is why you don't see it too often. But all things are possible. And I guess because I'm panning back, I can go a little faster. I don't need to go as slow as I panned over with the walking, so I can skip a few frames if I want to. That will speed it up. And I think this will be the last one now. I'm going to skip another. Oh, don't need that one. I'm going to do it. Almost there. You see a tiny bit of them still. All right. Last one before I can go into the pans. With conviction, just to make sure. Hard to see it even. Let's see. Oh, it kills me. It's just a little bit off. Okay, so how can I fix that? Well, I can go to the frame before. It's annoying, but I'll take a little bit from it